Hello everyone, welcome to Ramail Padai. Today we are going to learn a lesson, that is lesson 7, Quadratic Equation of Class 10 Mathematics, and from this lesson you will get question worth 3 to 5 marks in SEE. Sometimes you will get question worth 3 marks, however other times you will get question worth 4 or 5 marks in SEE. So without any delay, let's start the lesson. First of all, we will learn about quadratic equation. So quadratic equation is polynomial equation of second degree. Let me just write definition for you. Quadratic equation is polynomial equation of second degree. Okay, this is definition. However, there are two terms that we will need to understand what quadratic equation is. First of all is polynomial equation and second is degree. Okay, first of all we will learn about polynomial equation. So polynomial equation is equation where one side is polynomial and another side is equal to 0. So let me just write definition of polynomial equation as well. Polynomial equation is equation where one side is polynomial and other side is equal to 0. Still, what is polynomial? Okay, we will learn that also. So polynomial is expression made of variables, constant and powers. Okay, so polynomial is, let me write it here, expression made of variables, constants and power to the variables. Okay, so variables can be a, b, x, y, z, anything. Okay, so anything can be variable, and constant are numbers from 0 to 9. Okay, sometimes we will get fraction as a constant also. Is that clear? Okay, now moving on to power. Powers are, that can be unit power, that can be square, that can be cube, that can be power 4 and so on. Okay, however the condition for polynomial is that power must always be positive. You cannot say polynomial if the power is -1, okay, or power is -2 or so on. If there is negative power, then we cannot say it is polynomial. Okay, so we understand polynomial equation. Polynomial equation is equation where one side is polynomial and another side is equal to 0, where and polynomial is expression made of variable, constants and power, and in polynomial the power must always be positive. Okay, so that is what we understand about polynomial equation. Now let's understand about another thing, that is degree. So degree of polynomial equation. Degree of polynomial equation is largest exponent of the variable. Okay, this is largest exponent. Exponent is also known as power of the variable or variable in polynomial equation. Okay, so those polynomial equation that have second degree is known as quadratic equation. You got it clear? We understand about polynomial equation and we understand about degree of polynomial equation. Let me just provide you some examples where we will see the degree of polynomial equation. Okay, so this is first equation. 5x plus 3 is equals to 0. Here one side is polynomial and another side is equals to 0. You got it? This is about the definition of polynomial equation. And in here, in polynomial, this 5 and this 3 are constant and this x is a variable and x have some power. If a variable is written without power, then the variable has power of 1. Here x has power of 1. Okay, so you get constant, variable, power in polynomial. So this is polynomial equation, and here the power is not negative, power is positive, so plus 1. Okay, so this is polynomial equation. And what is degree of this equation? Here largest power of the variable in polynomial. Here we have only one variable, that is x, and we have power of 1. So this have degree how much? 1. Okay, this is polynomial equation with degree 1, first degree. Okay, now moving on to second equation. Here we have x as a variable, we have 5 and 6 as a constant. Okay, and we have 2 as a power. 2 is positive 2. Okay, so this is polynomial and this is equals to 0. Here the largest power of variable is 2. So this is second degree polynomial equation. You got it? Now let's understand the third equation. Here we have 2, 3, 1 and 5 as constant, and we have 3 and 2 and 1 as power of variable, that is x. Here the largest power of variable is 3. So this is third degree polynomial equation. You got it? Now moving on to another example. Here we have x as a variable and 16 and 1 before x as a constant, and here we have power of x is 4, and this is the largest power. Okay, here this is polynomial and this is equals to 0 and the largest power is 4, so this is fourth degree polynomial equation. Now moving on to another equation. Here we have 7x5 plus 3 cube minus 9 is equals to 0. Here this is polynomial because this has constant 7, 1 and 9. This has variable x and this has positive powers, that is 5 and 3. Okay, and this is equals to 0. Here the largest power is 5. So this is fifth degree polynomial equation. Can you say from this equation which one is quadratic equation? The second one is. Okay, now let's understand the polynomial equation with another equation as well. Here the equation is x power minus 2 plus 5x plus 6 is equals to 0. Here this is variable. Okay, good. This is constant 5 and 6. Okay, good. However, the power is negative, so this is not polynomial equation. Not polynomial equation. So you got it here. This one is quadratic equation. Okay. And when question asks you to write the definition of quadratic equation, you will write quadratic equation is polynomial equation of second degree. For example, the standard quadratic equation is the standard quadratic RATIC equation is ax square plus bx plus c is equals to 0, where a, b and c are constant and a is not equals to 0. Okay, so this is what you will write if definition of quadratic equation is asked. Okay, now let's move on to another slide where we will understand how to solve the quadratic equation. Okay, so there are basically three methods to solve quadratic equation. First one is factorization method, and this is my favorite method. Okay, so in factorization method we factorize the quadratic equation. Here the quadratic equation is x square plus 5x plus 6 is equals to 0. Here the sign before 6 is positive, so we will add two numbers in such a way that they add to give 5 and they multiply to give 6. Okay, so we have 3 and 2, where 3 plus 2 is 5 and 3 multiplied 2 is 6. You got it? Okay, now let's solve this. Or x square plus 3 plus 2 x plus 6 is equals to 0, or x square plus 3x plus 2x plus 6 is equals to 0. Now taking common, let me solve it here. Or let's take x common from these two. Okay, so x common, we get x plus 3, and from this we will get 2 common. Okay, plus 2 x plus 3 is equals to 0, or x, we take x plus 3 common, so x plus 3 x plus 2 is equals to 0, and from this equation either x plus 3 is equals to 0, which gives, therefore x is equals to minus 3, or x plus 2 is equals to 0, which gives x is equals to minus 2. Okay, so this is how we solve the quadratic equation using factorization method. Okay, now moving on to another method, we have completing the square. Here let me just solve this equation using completing square method. Here first of all we will write the quadratic equation, x square plus 5x plus 6 is equals to 0. Okay, here let us just separate this values, these two part having x on the one side, or we will write x square plus 5x is equals to 0 minus 6. Now we will make this equation in such a way that it looks like a square plus 2ab plus b square, and we will write it as a plus b whole square. Okay, or let me write x square, so x square is x square plus 2, a is x, so what is needed as a b, so that 2 times x times something is equals to 5x, so we will need 5 upon 2. Okay, and plus, so 5 upon 2 is b, so we will write 5 upon 2 square is equals to minus 6. Here x square is x square, 5x, we multiply this, we get 5x. However, we have added 5 by 2 square new terms in this side, in left hand side of this equation, so we will add 5 by 2 whole square on the right hand side as well, so 5 by 2 whole square, or we will write a square plus 2ab plus b square, so a plus b whole square is equals to minus 6 plus 5 square is 25 and 2 square is 4. Let's solve it here. X plus 5 upon 2 square is equals to So this have 1 as denominator, so I think denominator it is called. So we will multiply minus 6 with 4 to get 4 as denominator. So minus 6 times 4 plus 25 upon 4, and we get this minus 24 plus 25 upon 4, and we get this 1 by 4, and 1 by 4 is equals to 1 by 2 whole square. You got it? So or x plus 5 upon 2 whole square is equals to, let me just explain it you that minus 1 by 2 whole square is equals to 1 by 4, and 1 plus 1 by 2 whole square is equals to 1 by 4 as well. So 1 by 4 is equals to plus minus 1 by 2 whole square. So plus minus 1 upon 2 whole square, and we can write it as, or we square it both sides. So x plus 5 upon 2 is equals to plus minus 1 upon 2. First of all, taking positive, so taking positive we get x plus 5 upon 2 is equals to plus 1 upon 2, or x is equals to 1 upon 2 minus 5 upon 2, that is equals to minus 4 upon 2, or x is equals to minus 2. And if we take negative, x plus 5 upon 2 is equals to minus 1 upon 2, or x is equals to minus 1 upon 2 minus 5 upon 2, which is equals to minus 6 upon 2, or x is equals to minus 3. Okay, this is how we solve the quadratic equation using completing square method. This is quite a lengthy method, so this method is not my favorite one. As I have already told you, my favorite one is factorization method, because I have practiced a lot about factorization in my school there. Okay, now let's move on to another method, and another method is formula method. In formula method, we use the formula x is equals to minus b plus minus b square minus 4ac upon 2a. So we will solve the quadratic equation by writing quadratic equation first. So quadratic equation is x square plus 5x plus 6 is equals to 0. Now if we compare this quadratic equation with standard equation, which is ax square plus bx plus c is equals to 0, we get a is equals to 1, we get b is equals to 5, and we get c is equals to 6. Okay, now we will use this formula. So this formula says that x is equals to minus b plus minus root under b square minus 4ac upon 2a. Now we will keep value, but first of all let me just separate this. This part is of factorization, this part is of completing square method, and now we are doing formula method. So putting value, minus b is 5 plus minus b square is 5 square. Let me just write it clear, otherwise you might not understand and I might not be able to make you understand, and the meaning of watching whole video will be not good idea. Okay, so we have minus, we have b as 5 plus minus, we have b square as 5 square minus 4 times we have a as 1 and we have c as 6 upon we have 2 and we have a as 1. Okay, So let's solve. Minus 5 plus minus root under 25 minus 24 upon 2, which is equals to minus 5 plus minus root 1 upon 2 is equals to minus 5 plus minus 1 upon 2. Let me just save this so that I can write smoothly. So let me just take positive on the first part. So x is equals to minus 5 plus 1 upon 2, that is minus 4 upon 2, that is equals to minus 2, and taking negative we get x is equals to minus 5 minus 1 upon 2, that is minus 6 upon 2, that is minus 3. So this is how we solve the quadratic equation using formula method. Now we have one issue in formula method. I mean to say that we have one condition. If b square minus 4ac is equals to negative, then we cannot solve that quadratic equation. Okay, this is about the beauty of formula method. Formula method clearly tells us that if you have something like this, then this cannot be solved. Okay, so if we have b square minus 4ac as negative, we can never solve this quadratic equation to get the value of the variable. Okay, you got that? Okay, now let's move on to another slide where we will talk about the questions that are asked from this chapter. So the questions are of two types. One is age and year problem. Like for example, here someone gives the age of father is equals to f and age of daughter is equals to d, and the question says that the sum of age of father and daughter is equals to something, let's say 24, and the product of age of father and daughter is equals to 80. So this is the type of question that you will get, and from that you will need to find the age of father and the daughter. So for that we will get, so from this f plus d we will separate only f, or we will write f is equals to 24 minus d. Okay, now we will put this f value in this equation. Okay, so we have f is equals to 24 minus d times d is equals to 80, and we multiply this things inside bracket with d. So 24d minus d square is equals to 80, or d square minus 24d plus 80 is equals to 0, and from that we will get d value as, what is d? So let's solve this. D square minus 20d minus 4d plus 80 is equals to 0. We will get d minus 20, d minus 4 is equals to 0. So we will get d is equals to 20 and d is equals to 4. Okay, now we will get f. If d is equals to 20, then f is equals to 24 minus d is equals to 24 minus 20, that is equals to 4. If d is equals to 4, then f is equals to 24 minus d is equals to 24 minus 4, that is equals to 20. Here the age of daughter is greater than age of father, which is not the possible case, so we will cancel this. We will not take this into consideration. Here the daughter age is 4, which is less than age of father, that is 20. So we get age of daughter is equals to 4 and age of father is equals to 20. Okay, this is how we solve this solution. And the one thing that you need to keep in mind is that you need to make quadratic equation first. Sometimes you will get question to just make a quadratic equation out of the information given in the question. Okay, so for that you will just separate one value, and then you will keep that separated value in the multiplication equation. This is how you solve this question. And sometimes this says that this father is f in 2000 f and d is the daughter is d in 2080 bs, and then like in how many, in which year, I mean after in which year, let me say okay, so in which year they have something like product multiple. So we need to calculate f plus x and d plus x, and then we need to solve that. So you will get how to solve that into our solution video that we will put in the put after this video. And then another type of question is about rectangular field problem, where someone buys a rectangular field that have length L and breadth V, and the perimeter is equals to, perimeter of the field is 18 meter, and the area is 20 meter square. So they will ask to find L and B. So from perimeter we will get that 2 L plus B is equals to 18, or L plus B is equals to 9, and we will separate this one, either L or B, so that is easier for us to solve this. So we will separate L, so 9 minus B, and from area we will get L into B is equals to 20. Now putting value of L, so 9 minus B times B is equals to 20, and now B, 9B minus B square is equals to 20, or B square minus 9B plus 20 is equals to 0, and from this you will solve to get breadth is equals to 4 and length is equals to 5. Okay, so this is about the rectangular field problem. And they will ask how if this length, I mean they will give some length, like let us suppose they will give 9 meter. So is it possible to make a 9 meter long wall in this field? So they will ask this kind of question. And for that we will also need the hypotenuse. I mean that means this is rectangle. Okay, so this is 90 degree, and if we draw this, so this is 5, this is 4, and this will be how much? Root under 5 for 25 plus 16. Let me solve this. So root under 25 plus 16, so 6.4, like, and that means root 41, and that is 6.40 meter, and this is the longest length of wall that can be made in this field. So longest wall that can be made is 6.40 meter, and they are asking us if you can make 9 meter long wall. So we cannot make 9 meter wall in this field. So this is how they will ask us question, and we will solve that. And to get to understand how to solve and how to approach the question, please watch our solution videos of this chapter of quadratic equation. And with this I am ending this video. I think I have covered all the important topics that is required to solve the question in SEE. So if you have any like queries or concern, or you missed something, please let me know in the comment section down below, and we will meet you in the next video. Till then, bye bye.